God has always been like a background kind of, like always kind of there. It's almost like it's hard to like put into words just because it's kind of like, well, what has oxygen done for you lately? It's like, well, I don't know. It's just like always there. And I, it, there's never been like a big, like, oh my gosh, I am so loved that nothing else matters, because it's just always kind of been there with the problems that like life arises, and with the good times, and getting married and having kids and those good things. When we got married 6 years ago, it was really really fun, because obviously I was marrying the love of my life and all that good stuff in the church and all that, but just hanging out with the people that loved us at the ceremony and the reception was just like really good for my soul. And I think that's renews me, because spending time with God's other people. I have two beautiful boys. My second one was just born right before quarantine and everything happened. God giving me, trusting me enough to raise these two precious souls. It was a very good like expression of like his a showing of his love to me, that I can make sure that they're raised in the faith and that they know who God is. When my 2-year old like sometimes will initiate prayer or do things like that, I'll kind of throw up a quick prayer to God and say, thank you for letting me pass along this to somebody else. Being a teacher, and I teach elementary school, students are at the age where they really like school, and then they really, well, for the most part, like me, and they appreciate what I say. So I try really hard to make sure that I tell them what they're supposed to know through the catechism and that kind of stuff. But I also try to make it match what I do. So if it's easy to do that in the classroom, but I occasionally will bump into them at church, and so which is good. I like them seeing me practicing my faith the way that I tell them they should be. I like hanging out with my students, and I think I've grown to appreciate that more, especially with the shutdown, because in the social distancing and quarantine, because I haven't been able to see a lot of family and friends. And again, being a parent, and my oldest isn't in school yet, but I'm now starting to see how every child, like little kid, is really like, a loving, wonderful creation of God too. And I've worked with kids my entire life. Like I've known I wanted to be a teacher since I was in school. Like I was in third grade, and I really liked third grade. And I said, I think I want to do this when I grow up. And I ended up becoming a teacher. And we pray every morning, and I try to be sure to, I say, thank God for another day and that we made it through to another day, and pray for all of you and your families. And the kids are really cute. They're 8, 9, 10 years old, and they always pray for, we do special intentions. They pray for my family and my husband's family and my kids, and they ask to see pictures of my kids. And so really, like, they care. But yeah, I really see God's love, I guess, in kids, because that's something that I devoted my life to. Being a mom has helped open my heart a little bit more to think that, like, wow, this little one is really pressing all the wrong buttons, but he still is one of God's creations, and I still need to treat him like that. I remember that someone said that God has, like, he is our father, but he also has the qualities of a mother. Like, he can be gentle, he can be loving, and kind of like, I always pictured him like soft and squishy, like someone you want to like sit on and hug. Again, a Bible passage where our God wasn't in the raging storm, he wasn't in the outstanding fire, he wasn't in the loud wind, he was in the gentle whisper. Just that kind of spoke to me too, how God doesn't have to be this overpowering, overbearing, like being. He is, he can be, he does. But I think what is really neat is that the small people, like the little kids who don't always have a loud voice, that they still have worth, and they still are just as precious and important to God as the most powerful athlete or the most well-known celebrity. I think so. My favorite quality, I guess, is like the gentleness that I try to like instill. And leaving church, the priest or the deacon will say, like, live, the mass has ended, like, live the gospel by your life, or something along those lines, like show the gospel by your life. And I think it was St. Francis who said, preach the gospel, and if necessary use words, like walk the walk kind of thing. So being a child of God means that you have to do the stuff that you said you were going to do. Like, I can talk to my students all day long, but then if I turn around and do something that I am telling them like kind of being a hypocrite, that's not building the kingdom at all. So I think trying to stay true to what I know needs to happen to be a true Christian role model, is really exemplifying what it means to be God's child, building the kingdom and bringing everybody back together.